This is the new Slastix Pole after it's been fully assembled, minus the panels below here. We'll talk about some panels that are missing right now. But it fits in a box. It's about this wide, which is about 36 inches wide, 34 inches wide, and it collapses down to about 6 to 8 inches when it ships in a box. Okay. When you assemble the product, it comes in a couple different sections. There's the top pole here. There's a bottom pole that goes from here all the way down to the base underneath there. These things thread together and then use set screws to keep it in place. These brackets are where you actually attach the Slastix to. As you can see, this particular bracket goes in between the two pins and allows for a 360-degree spin if that's ever desired in an exercise. You might also be able to notice, but from a long ways away, there's actually a pin position here, or a hole here, that allow you to slide the brackets into a locked position. So in some exercises you might desire to lock it in so it doesn't spin around on you. The brackets as well as the pole are plated so that you're not going to scrape and scratch them very much. Okay, down here the pole is actually connected into the base with a clamping bracket to keep it nice and secure so it doesn't wobble around. The top is actually done in a couple different pieces. There's a top piece and there's a bottom piece. Both are covered with a sheet metal. The top has a rubber surface as well, so it'll act like a plow box. You can actually do step up and downs on this if you want some minor plyometric exercises. The brackets in here, the brackets keep a standoff or a spacing that you can use to store weights inside. You can't see the weights, but there's some 45-pound weight plates down underneath here. You can stack up to 7 different weight plates in here, holding 350 pounds to keep it from tipping over during exercises. Usually during an exercise you'd want multiple people exercising on it to counterbalance, but there are occasions when in a fitness environment there might just be one person. We want to make sure that this thing's secure and in place. At the bottom of the Slastix pole, you'll see 4 feet around. They simply screw into place. And you'll also see a ring at the bottom. This ring at the bottom is designed to attach some Slastix to and do some exercises from a very low anchoring position. The wheels themselves are ball bearing wheels, allow for 360-degree spin this way, and they also easily rotate. Now you'll see how easy this is to move right now. There's no weights in here, but it's no different and more difficult to roll once you get 350 pounds of weight into it. Obviously during exercise you don't want this thing, you don't want to clamp in here and start to do your pulls and exercises and have this thing roll around on you and spin out of place. So all the wheels are designed with locking step-on locks. All you do is you step on it, locks in place, and you would go around to all 4 positions on your Slastix pole and lock it in position. Once it's locked in position, this thing will not roll. Obviously if you're doing some extremely heavy pulling on it, maybe on a gym floor or a basketball floor, it's not going to be a lot of friction, or don't be as much friction as if you did it on a rubber type surface. Now we're locked in place, this thing won't move. To make sure, now I want to move it out of my work area, all I do is knock up the brakes. And you want to use all 4 brakes, I didn't push the other ones, and now it simply rolls again. Okay. Now, a second option, we don't have it shown here so you can see the inside, but on the inside here you'll see some pin positions here that a plastic covering or skirt would go over the top of this. The plastic skirt, all it does is it covers the internals here so that maybe it's more aesthetically pleasing to some. You can't see the weights inside. It's also inset about 1 inch so that when you're doing plyometric exercises you're not ending up scraping it or pulling it off as you're using it. Let me just show you quickly how the Slastix would attach in the different positions. I brought an exercise bar with me. Obviously from a low position we would flip into a low position to do exercises. You could even feed the Slastix entirely through because the D-rings are large enough so you can work from 2 positions. Once you pull the Slastix out, you can connect in any of these pin positions. You slide this ring up and down to the desired position and you simply clip on the elastic. Now I've got it in a locked position so I can't spin it, but I could attach my Slastix to it I attach my exercise bar to it, okay? And I'm now doing a variety of exercises that I might want to do. Of course, I can then fold it around. Now, the other thing you also might notice is that this is made out of round steel. It's not a plate cutted steel or cut steel where there'd be sharp edges. So you can actually take your Slastix and wrap it through, because there's no sharp edges, and connect it back to an anchoring position to do exercises that you're interested in doing. Okay? Now, let's say I have an application where I'm in a group training. Let me put the brakes on first so this thing is not sliding around on me. I may be in an application or in a fitness setting where I might want to walk around the pole and do exercises with it. Obviously, if I'm in this position and I've got the pin in position here, let's say if I was to do exercises where I want to hit here and I walk around and hit again and hit again, this thing is not spinning around with me. But if I actually push the pin in and slide it so that the bracket is in between the two pin positions, I can do that exercise. I can start here, punch, walk around, punch again. As you can see, this thing's sliding around with me, so it'll follow the users. Now you might ask, how many people can I put on this thing and exercise at the same time? It really depends on how far away you are from the Slastix pole. If we have really short Slastix and we're doing something really close, basically you're going to be bumping in to people as you do your exercise. The further away you get, the more people you can surround the Slastix pole. These brackets on the bottom will slide up and down from the lowest position all the way to the center, and the top bracket will slide from the top to the bottom. So there's tons of exercises you can do. It's easy to clamp in place. Like I said, we've already put the clamps in. To knock it out when we're done, we simply pop the brakes, and we're good to slide away. Now, another thing that's nice about it is the storage capacity. Once you're done with your Slastix, these plastic panels, which are not on it at this time, simply pop open, and you take your Slastix, your other equipment, and shove it inside. Reattach the plastic panels through a series of set point screws here, some simple wing nuts, and your system is entirely encased and off to the side, so you can use your workout facility for some other application. That's the Slastix pole.